Good morning, Malabites. Good morning, Malabresses. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, friends and foes. Good morning, mummies and daddies. Good morning to every single person listening to me right now. You're tuned into Unico 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment 360. We love to call it a do infotainment. It is a beautiful Monday morning right here in the beautiful city of Calabar. What are you up to this morning? It's a beautiful day. It's the first day of the working week. Today happens to be the 25th day of the month of May 2026. Slowly and steadily, we're almost coming to the end of May. The next 6 days, we're going to say goodbye to the month of May. And here I was thinking that May was not fast. But, towards the end of May, I think it just picked up and became very, very, very fast. My name is Vine Henshaw, but they call me Spice of the Airwaves, and I'm your morning companion right here on the Morning Buzz Show on Unico 103.5 FM. How are you feeling this morning? It's a cold, it's very comfy at environment or atmosphere this morning. I hope that you had a restful night. I hope you slept good during the night. I hope that you had a beautiful weekend as well. I remember on Friday we told you that you should take the most or make the most out of the weekend, ensure that you enjoy yourself, and I hope that you took that advice. I hope that you made the most out of the weekend. You had fun, you hung out with your family, hung out with your friends. I hope that you did yourself the favor of relaxing, rejuvenating, and just getting your strength back for the new week. And now the new week is upon us, and I hope that you're refreshed. I hope that you have rejuvenated, and I hope that you're ready to face the new week. I am not in the studio alone, like you already know. I am here with Obi Thompson and Sharon, and together we're going to ensure that we give you the best of education, information, and of course entertainment right here on the Morning Buzz Show. Good morning, guys, and welcome once again. Happy New Week to you. How are you guys feeling?
Good morning, Vine. Good morning, Thompson. Hello, everyone tuned in. I feel so happy, Jesus. And I rested well. I can say I rested the way I was supposed to rest, the way I wanted to rest. Slept on Saturday very well. Slept on Sunday again when I came back from church. I was like, oh, thank the Lord Jesus. I had the time to rest because normally,
Sometimes
when
I just realize how I don't want to use the word sad, but something in that line, some people's lives are because how are you excited to sleep? Like that's what
Come
excites you.
I was having
on.
a
We've been talking
conversation,
about that on the health and wellness
I was
segment.
having
Yes,
You
I'm
should
not
have
I'm not
enough time to
disputing the
sleep.
fact that sleeping is good,
mm,
right? But for the weekend, one
it's
would think that
luxuries for some
you
people.
should go out, have fun, try new food, restaurants, parties, and all of that. But what you look forward to is to sleep.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes,
who do all this kind
it's a
thing?
luxury at this point because
Mm.
some people actually don't know the importance of
I don't
sleep.
think people don't know the importance. I just think people don't just get the time
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
sleep.
to
They know
sleep.
that it's
Yeah.
No,
important,
I'm
but they
talking
don't
of the
get the
ones
time.
that disturb the sleep.
Okay.
Like so basically what Saturday and Sunday, I don't know, I struggled to sleep. I was waking up at intervals because I had bundles of joy and noise in the house. And this one you lie down on the floor because I like lying down on the floor. I
Mm,
like it because I don't know, it's therapeutic to me,
mm.
basically. Especially
And
when it's
also
very hot.
unhealthy.
Yeah.
And also unhealthy. I wanted you
Yeah.
to hear
On
that
the other
part.
hand,
Very unhealthy.
It depends on how long it is because most of the times I use it to actually ease my cramps. So
Mm.
it's not completely unhealthy, but we'll discuss that one later. Anyways, so I woke up at intervals because one person carry this container, this beverage container,
Mm.
the metal ones.
Yeah.
You see to hit the floor, and my head was directly on the floor. I was like, God, why me?
But like you said,
Why
bundle of
always
joy and
me?
what?
Noise.
Noise. Mhm.
Because I woke up at interval, I was shouting at the same human being. And as you're waking up with headache because of the noise, and then you're
Mm.
not shouting on top, adding to the headache again. But I made sure that I slept well, even at that. I made sure that I did not rob myself of sleep because I deserve it. After a long week of work and all, I deserve it.
When
Because
when my elder sister brings my nieces to the house and I want to sleep, maybe I've had a long week and I want to sleep during the weekend. It's very simple. Lock myself inside my room.
honestly,
That's it.
mm,
That's end of story, end of discussion. Whatever is happening can happen outside. If you want to set the house on fire, no problem. Do
God,
it outside.
I can't do that because they can literally set the house on fire. I
yeah.
cannot do that.
So funny how just yesterday evening, while I was trying to have some little sleep after a very hot outing, and then boom. Now that time when neighbor won't wash mfi periwinkle, that one you put inside and then be shaking it. Like, come on. When you're in between striking a deal, signing a project or accomplishing a task, and boom, you hear that noise and then you wake up. man, I have to walk from my room, this room to the other room, and get back to parlor. Like I was just gallivanting around, just all alone. Like,
And
how are you
you ask
washing
yourself,
periwinkle?
did you
And
plan
he
me?
shake
Like,
it like they will shake. He shakes
inside
it.
inside
I really
pots.
don't
I came here and realized that they used to wash inside pots, and I'm like,
like.
I
not
bet
just washing it, but you
they
have
will
to
shake
shake
it.
Like
it.
the
No,
Mm.
some
pow-
will carry the Nufia and actually use it and scratch the pots to make that
See,
freaking sound. I'm
the thing
telling
is,
you.
what they do is they put inside the pot, close the pot, and they're now shaking it like up and down,
like
sideways,
it
around.
was
Yeah, I'm
really
telling you
horrible.
that
It was
auntie, like
horrible.
a
It was
friend of
horrible.
my aunt's would carry the fish. Tell you that's not how to wash because that's how I used to wash my own. Like I said, I'm washing clothes.
Yeah,
It doesn't make that much sound.
yeah.
But when she wants to wash it, she will carry the fish and just scratch the bottom of the pot. And that one makes another sound on its own.
On its own.
Entirely. And
Like,
you're like,
I was like, come on, is this the only way? Is this the only method this particular set of
not the only
you know,
method, mind you. But it's the only method
protein
that
Thing is,
protein that can be used?
sometimes I don't understand how some neighbors behave, because you ask yourself, okay, if reverse was the case and I did this to you, how would you feel? Because I believe that this is my house and I deserve a level of peace and tranquility, and you're robbing me of that privilege because I paid for this house in full. And Calabar landlords and landladies are crazy. So imagine the kind of amount I'm paying for rent, and you're disturbing me in my house. Any house I cannot have peace of.
Talking
if I'm
about
not
rent.
if I'm not going to sleep, you are not going to sleep as well.
Talk-
It's as simple as that.
Talking about rain, something happened yesterday. It was actually drizzling
Yeah,
and
yes,
and
yes.
all of that. So while I
Oh,
was
we actually
passing,
rained
it was
heavily in the
drizzling. It
evening.
rained heavily. Yeah.
Yes.
so while I went to go get something, I saw an agent making call that there was an apartment, a one-room apartment within Moray, and that it was going for 230,000.
So is it
And then
more? You're calling more.
Moray is called Moray, and then I was like,
People
come
be
on,
fine.
30 230,000 naira for a single room. And I said, why are you charging this kind of amount?
230.
And then he said, this is just for
230.
single person.
That
That
is-
if it is somebody, if it is if not for the person, he would have charged. And that one is agent fee is not even included though. It's just because it's the person, and so because of that he's charging for 230. And then I asked myself, this is an agent that is staying in I don't know whether they call that place abacha. How is it abacha? Be the bacha kind of stuff. That stuff they use mud, and then after that they use cement to stylish the place. And
Oh.
just like you have a boys quarter, okay, that is the kind of place this guy stay. And I said to myself, if I have a building, if I have a house and I notice you are an agent staying in my house, I will give you a quit notice for no reason. You just have to quit. Go and look for an apartment. Go and see the stress you're putting other people into. Just a single room and you're charging someone for such amount of money. And these are houses that have, in fact, the money they have used in Belt, you have recovered it. The money used in even smiling for people that, oh, you've recovered it 100 or 200 years ago. And that is how much you're charging people at this point in time. Don't forget the State Assembly came out with a rule some times ago.
Oh,
and I begin to
please.
ask, what is the role of these guys? What, like, I got
I
depressed over the weekend.
I came across a tweet on X during the weekend, and it really got me thinking. So a certain landlord said that a guy walked into his apartment and said he wanted to rent an apartment, and he wanted to rent it for his sister who was getting married. And he told her, okay, he told him rather, go and bring this sister of yours that is going to get married. And after a few days, the lady came in with her fiance to check the house out, and the guy said that the landlord now said, how much? Okay, how about your brother that came to get this house for you? And she said, brother, that's not my brother, that's an agent. The man now said, oh, an agent. How much did he tell you? I said that he said the house was 800,000. The landlord just smiled and said the house's rent is actually 400,000,
Jesus
and you
Christ.
inflated it
Times two.
100% increase. Like,
Yeah.
where is the conscience in this world? Honestly, where's the conscience? People think
Lord.
that because you're looking for an apartment, you've won a lottery, so they want to rip you off every dime that you have. It's really, really ridiculous. And like what Thompson said, most of these agents, when you go to their houses, you're going to cry because they live in very, very miserable and deplorable environments. But somehow you want to rip
And
people
over
off.
95 and 98% of these agents so called, they are so miserable. You just look at them and know that these ones are miserable because people have laid courses, people have laid a lot of courses on them and their entire families. Because how on earth are you asking me to pay your transport from wherever you are
In
to
addition
where
to
you want to show me
agency.
and then come back again and still pay you for agency fee? So what are you using your own money
And
to
the
do?
agent fee, you may not even like the house, but you still have to pay.
You still have to pay
Regardless,
it.
yes.
So it's very outrageous.
Somebody
I don't
said
know.
I go I go was it I think somewhere in Lagos to find house agent tell me say house no the kitchen. I tell them say I wear kitchen they say you be chef. We see what use kitchen do.
You're oh my god. See, and the
Oh my
funny thing, you see
goodness.
where they will carry you to, you're like, how much do you want to charge? And it's not just in Calabar, it's
It's
everywhere.
everywhere.
And funny how
I
they'll
think
tell you
it's worse
Funny
somewhere.
how they
Yeah.
tell you this is one bedroom, but there's no toilet, so you have to share
Mm.
toilet with another
With
neighbor.
another
Like
person.
how? Why?
And you're
How?
paying
It's
like 200
self-con.
and something thousand.
Have you
naira.
heard this new one they call semi-self-con?
Oh, Jesus.
So you're actually sharing probably your wardrobe with another person and sharing right from your wardrobe, your toilet, your kitchen, everything you're
Wow.
sharing with another two
That's
neighbors.
very
So that's why they call semi.
pathetic.
So the only reason why it's not self-con, they call it semi, is because at least probably the place you want to lay your head, that's the only privacy you have. So every other person, every other thing,
You're
parts
sharing
of
it with
that
somebody
you're sharing
else.
with somebody else, and then come and hear the price.
It's
Are you
very
okay?
it's very ridiculous, but
God
you know
deliver us.
Because looking at that, let's say for instance you're paying a rent of 400,000 naira a month. That means you should be able to save approximately 40,000 naira each
every
and
month.
every month.
Mm.
Now, if you look at that, you ask the question: how much are you earning a month?
Anyway,
How much is your feeding? How much is your transportation? How do you cater for your other bills and all of that? What
there's
are you
also
doing?
light
Like,
bill for every
do you
little
understand?
there.
So, and all of that. So, put together, how much are you earning? Where is that job? Where is it located? What's the name of that company you're working? This is why a lot of persons, a lot of young persons, of course, I'm not excusing them, are venturing into all of these frauds, betting, and all of those things that, at the end of the day, when you ask somebody, what exactly are you doing? What exactly are you doing? You're not talking about the phone, your data.
Do you know that there's a trend in Nigeria that certain landlords build houses for certain type of people? You hear things like, if you're not a fraudster, you cannot live in my apartment.
Well, I don't just want to call the name of the street.
And when I
I also
heard
have
it,
one in my head.
when I heard it, I'm like, you have to be, it just has to be a joke. You have to be kidding me. They'll tell you, what do you do if you're not a fraudster, like they call it Yahoo boy, you cannot stay in this apartment. And you see a little space and they tell you 1 million, 1.5 million. I'm like, what
Yeah,
madness is that?
there's an apartment beside MTN office in Calabar here, around the tag, but they tell you 1.5 million. And so I asked the question. And look at the room is not even as big as this studio as it is. If you look at the toilet and this thing, it's just as if you shade how do they call this common room in a hostel? Yeah, common room in a hostel. In fact, common room in hostel is even
It's
bigger
big.
than what they are doing just because you put POP. Oga, put
Because
normal
the
ceiling.
house is fine.
Put normal ceiling. We go rent them. I don't understand. I don't understand. And
It's
then look
very
at the tiles.
crazy.
The tiles is still something that will get dirty. Look at the doors. It's still the same. How do they call alumaco? This thing that you can just go and buy. Oga, put ceiling.
At the end of the day, people are just facing a lot in the hands of landlords and landladies. But what are you up to this morning? What are you doing? What are you up to? Are you on your way to work, on your way to school, on your way to, dropping the kids at school? Are you running errands? What are you up to? And what is happening in your area this morning? Let us know. 0809 I'll take that again. 0809 You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number and we'll take it right here on the show. Also, what is your worst experience with a landlord, a landlady, or a house agent? Let us know this morning. 0809 I believe that people have numerous experiences, funny and some even scary
Yeah.
experiences with some landlords, some landladies, and even house agents. So let us know those experiences that you've had with landlords and landladies, and of course house agents. Let us know this morning. Talk to us 0809 4444 I'll take that again, 0809 4444 You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number, and we'll take it right here on the show. Time check is 51 minutes past the hour of 7, and we're going back to the music. When we come back, we'll move straight to the weather focus segment. I'll leave in the hands of Johnny Drill. This one says, Believe me. Do not move away from your radio set. We'll be back before you know it. 7:55 on the DOT. Welcome back from that short music break. That was Believe Me by Johnny Drill. It's still the morning bus show right here on Unico 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment 360. We love to call it a do infotainment. Right now, like I said, you can call us and let us know what you're up to this morning. It's a new day. What are you doing? Are you on your way to work, on your way to school? Let us know. And what is the craziest experience you've had with a landlord or a landlady or a house agent here in the city of Calabar? Let us know. 0809 4444 058. I'll take that again. 0809 4444 058. You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number, and we'll take it right here on the show. Right now, we're moving straight to the weather focus segment. Like I said earlier, today is the 25th day in the month of May 2026. It's a Monday, the first day of the working week. Now, today in Calabar metropolis will be mostly cloudy, warm, and humid, with a fair chance of afternoon showers. Expect that typical Calabar wet season feel: sticky air, dull skies, and short burst of rain. Now, in the morning from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m., temperature will range from 24 degrees Celsius to 28 degrees Celsius. The rain chance is going to be around 20 to 30%. Now, the weather condition will be mostly cloudy, calm, and humid. Now, the practical tip for the morning is: good window for errands. Carry a light umbrella, but you likely won't need it, but carry it just in case. Now, the afternoon from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m., temperature will range from 28 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. Now, the rain chance will be around 40 to 60%. The weather condition will be cloudy with a bit of rain or isolated showers, especially mid to late afternoon. The practical tip for the afternoon is: if you'll be on the road, plan for brief delays. Showers may come suddenly. Now, in the evening from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., temperature will range from 25 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius. The rain chance will be around 30 to 40%. Now, the condition will be cloudy and damp with leftover moisture. Slight chance of light drizzles. Now, the practical tip for the evening: the humidity will linger. Keep indoor spaces ventilated. Now, the general summary for the day: we have temperature range from 24 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius all through the day, and the rain chance is going to be up to 60% today. Now, the general advisory is a cloudy, humid day with possible afternoon showers. Keep an umbrella handy and plan outdoor activities with some flexibility. And there you have
Have
it,
it, yeah.
the weather forecast for the day. These days, the weather is very unpredictable. It can rain this minute and it's sunny the next minute, or vice
Mm-hmm.
versa. So ensure that you plan your day accordingly.
I
Carry
told
an
you,
umbrella.
I told you I put on tire. So as soon as I wanted to lock the door, I saw the rain. I
You're
went inside
defending yourself.
immediately. I removed everything. I removed my child is still here,
Oh,
and so I have to pull
Christine.
everything down and say no. I even have to put on one of my palm and say if the palm goes spoil, make it spoil. Like it was already raining. I turned on my umbrella and they
It
were
was
like,
raining in
"Are you still
Marian.
going outside?" I say, "Yes, I'm going outside. I'm going to work." They say, "Okay, no, Anna. If not, come on a Monday morning now. Suppose not as usual. Now
Mm.
it's supposed to
It
know
was
now."
raining in Marian, Thompson.
Yeah, it was actually drizzling very serious. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, if you
Okay.
say
Yeah.
so.
Also, if you know you wash clothes or you catch something outside to dry, but before you leave your house, keep it back inside. Yesterday, I had an rain. That rain that was falling heavily.
Mm.
Do you know that that rain almost met me? Like for some reason, I had meeting after church in my own unit, and
I'm
the
sorry,
was resting
guys.
time.
I'm sorry. Let me just cut you there.
Mm.
I work from Monday to Friday. I wake up very early, leave late, right? Saturday, I do laundry, house chores. Sunday, I'm bringing myself to churches to worship God. After service, please, can I go home? No, 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 please, can I go home?
It just said, wait after service.
Can I go
Jesus.
home, please?
Hey. I was like, okay, for the love of God. Okay,
Yeah.
let's wait. And he wasted, like, we stayed though. In
Shall you
fact, they
see?
wanted to even settle fights with me and one other person. That I think that was another issue on its own that pissed me off. So who saved me was people that I was supposed to go with. I just called somebody came to come and be like, we have been waiting for our sis. Let us go. So
Hmm.
I went with one of my church members that was gracious enough to carry me. And while I was walking home, because I have to walk a certain distance before I get home, when I reached my gate, I saw the clouds. It started darkening. Meanwhile, while I was walking, it was sun. Oh. It started darkening. Then once I stepped into my house, rain. It's as if God was holding back the clouds for me to
For
enter my
you.
house because rain, as soon as like rain started, my auntie was like, "You are very lucky." She said it in our dialect. She was like, "I'm very lucky. Rain for doing strong till today."
Mm.
But that's not the point. Now, a neighbor of ours left her bed, one of her campsite beds outside,
Such a bold decision.
and locked the door and left.
Mm.
So I don't know, something just carried me outside because normally if I enter my house, I enter inside the room and sit down for a
Mm.
while before I take off my clothes and change and do all that. I will even come outside on time. Something
Yeah.
carried me outside with my clothes still on, and then I was like, I looked well. The bed was already soaked from the front. Manzi was like, I should help her carry it. I should help her carry that. She used to help us and carry
Your clothes.
our
Hot
clothes
stuffs and all of
everything.
that.
So I helped her to carry it inside one store that was there. I was like, hi, this woman go, oh Jesus, I was pitying her already because it's already wet.
But that's
What
a
do you
very
want to do? It's
that's a
already
very
wet.
risky thing to do in this weather in this season. We are in the
Yeah.
rainy season, so
To wash
when you
things and keep on side.
yes, you have to be around
if
or
it's
tell
clothes-
there
your
was a compound.
neighbor
There
If
was
it's
a
clothes, I
compound
won't
like
even
that.
mind. If it's clothes, I won't even mind. But
Yeah.
if it's
because
bed,
it take another like
Mm.
1 week to dry.
There was a compound like that. You know, the person actually kept the ropes, and then other when it was raining, the guy was not around. Nobody knew it was actually going to rain anywhere, and so before he came back, you know, everything was soaked. But others picked their clothes and then left his own. So
I
what he
saw.
did was it was his own rope. So what he did was he has to cut all the ropes.
No, no. I saw one
Put it
particular meme that
inside.
was this. It was like the caption read, "When you don't greet your neighbor, stood outside in the rain." I was like, Nigerians are dramatic.
Yeah,
Very
But that's the
petty
thing.
individuals.
Nigerians are really petty, right?
Actually, like even myself, I won't because I'll be like, okay, it's not safe enough. Before you say I stole your clothes now, let us leave it outside for you there. Because that's
No.
actually I used to do some people's own. Leave it
Rather
outside for you.
push it all to one
Yeah, I just push
particular
it to
side. You
one
push
side
it to one side,
sometimes.
and then with that, I think it will really go. a
I
long
will
way to
not
help.
touch it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I am that petty. I will not touch
Petty,
it.
Nigerians are dramatic individuals.
What do you mean? Anyway, let us know what you're up to this morning. 0809 4444058. I'll take that again. 0809 4444058. You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number, and we'll take it right here on the show. And remember to plan your day accordingly as well. You've heard the weather focus. Ensure that you carry an umbrella, a raincoat, anything that keeps you protected from the rain. Ensure that you step out with it because it's very, very important. We don't need you, or we don't want you getting drenched throughout the day. I don't remember the last time I took out my umbrella from my bag. It's always there. Come rain, come shine. I'll always have my umbrella in my bag because, like I said, Calabar rain is very, very unpredictable. It comes like
Yeah.
a thief in the night. So ensure that you plan accordingly so that it doesn't catch you off guard. Anyway, we're going back to the music right now. When we come back, we're moving straight to the exchange rate segment, and Obi Thompson will take us through that segment of the show. I'll leave in the hands of Burna Boy and Ed Sheeran. This one says, "For my hand." Do not move away from a radio set. We'll be back before you know it.
Until the night is
From that short music break, that was For My Hand by Burna Boy and Ed Sheeran. It's still the Morning Bus Show right here on Unico 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment 360. We love to call it ADU Infotainment. Right now, we're moving straight to the next segment of the show, which is the exchange rate segment. And Obi Thompson will take us through that segment of the show. Obi Thompson, take it away.
Okay, so thank you so much for bringing us to that particular segment of the Morning Boss Show where we talk about how much you're going to spend, how you should spend it, what you're going to spend for, and all of that. Don't forget that talking about house rent, talking about preparation for weddings, years are due and all of that. You need to prepare yourself. You need to know how much it's going to cost you. If you want to cook good soup, yeah, you should know how much the exchange rate is. And right away here, we start with the Danish krone. Don't forget that just one Danish krone is costing Nigeria 213 naira, and then one Swiss francs is costing Nigeria 1,740 naira. One Saudi real is costing Nigeria 366 naira, and then one West African CFA is costing Nigeria just 2 naira. One Japanese yen is costing Nigeria 8 naira, and then one Chinese yuan is costing Nigeria 201 naira. I think this one has actually pleaded with the naira and all of that. So we have one South African rand is costing Nigeria 82 naira, and then one pound sterling is costing Nigeria 1,839 naira. One euro is costing Nigeria 1,594 naira, and then one US dollar is costing Nigeria 1,373 naira. So don't forget that if you're going out there to buy something, water leaf, or you want to, change your lip globes, you want
On
to,
top dollar.
you want to pay transport, you need to ensure that. I was thinking over the weekend because of the primary election, we're going to see a dramatic change in our exchange rate, but trust
As
me,
how
it
now?
doesn't really. Yeah, usually in elections,
Too paranoid.
elections actually determines the outcome of primaries like this in other countries determine their exchange rate because they look at how this person is and how he's able to. But here, it didn't even have any effect. So I begin to wonder what exactly the Minister of the Coordinating Economy, the Minister of Finance, the CBN Governor, and what all of these guys are actually doing because there was no impact whatsoever in this particular primaries that was just concluded over the weekend. And though, despite the fact that it's still ongoing, but then there was no impact at all. But however, that's pretty much what we're doing from the exchange rate segment of the Morning Boss Show.
All right, thank you very much, Thompson, for that one. We're going back to the music now. When we come back, we're moving straight to the national holiday segment right here on the Morning Bus Show on Unico 103.5 FM. I will leave you in the hands of Whiskey featuring Ha. This one says Smile. This is a gentle reminder that you should smile all through the day because it's a new week and it's a new opportunity. Do not touch that dial. Welcome back from that short music break. Time check is 12 minutes past the hour of 8, and right now we're moving straight to the next segment of the Morning Bus Show, and that is the National Holiday segment. Now, the first national holiday we have is Towel Day. I love this particular holiday because it's very important. But Sharon will take us through the importance of taking good care of your towel when we get to the health and wellness segment. Now, the next holiday we have is National Wine Day. National Wine Day. Now, if you're a wine lover, today is that day where you indulge yourself. Fruit wine, red wine, white wine, any kind of wine that Which one is not everybody will take fruit wine, of course. People have different,
Varieties of
variety,
wine.
and people, they have their preference. So
Yeah.
whatever preference you prefer, ensure that you indulge today. But this one, that it is National Wine Day on a Monday. Ha. Okay, take the wine after work.
It was on a Friday. Like, okay, no, no problem.
Take it after work, not.
Is it intoxicating? When you
Well,
say after work,
sometimes,
there's
yeah, red
alcohol,
wine can be
There's
intoxicating.
non-alcoholic. No, that non-alcoholic has some percent of alcohol inside.
Mm.
That's one thing I learned. So there are different
Okay.
grades of alcohol. There's 50%. They would give the percentage, but then non-alcoholic has also some additional amount of alcohol, but not something that would cause tipsiness.
Yeah.
But except you're somebody that doesn't have high tolerance for alcohol, but that non-alcoholic. Low alcohol. The non-alcoholic is one that has no alcohol. Low alcohol has some level of alcohol inside. It's like there are different grades.
okay.
So when you want to buy one, look at the back of the label at the back, so that you see whether this is alcoholic or not. But then there are some brands that are known for alcohol and everything. But I mean, we're not encouraging you to indulge too much in it, because today is a Monday and you need to still wake up tomorrow for work again on Tuesday. You
That's
don't
the
want to enter
thing.
wahala.
But you can just take a little, a little bit of
Indulge.
it, just a little bit.
indulge too Don't tell you now. It's not as if we just said it's wine day and then boom.
And then boom, you go and jack
Bang.
somebody's one bottle.
My teacher would say before you start seeing humans as trees.
Please. And I think the body always gives you that signal that, listen, I think it's time to slow down. But some people are just very greedy.
Yes.
They would still, keep indulging and indulging and indulging. So please, just drink a little bit of wine, just a little bit. Even the Bible says you can drink wine, but do not be what? Do not be drunk. When you're now drunk, that is where the problem is, because you start misbehaving and start doing things that you're not supposed to do. Now, the next one we have is Global Africa Day. Global Africa
This is
Day.
interesting.
It's very
Very, very
important to note that we Africans, we are unique people. We are fantastic people.
Yes.
And it's great to know that we have a day to celebrate Africa. Africa is such a great, such a rich, such an interesting continent. If I'm being honest, right, I don't think there's any continent and I'm not being biased, mind you, but I don't think there's any continent that is as interesting as Africa. Now, people think because it's Africa, we are all the same, but there's so much diversity in Africa, and you have no idea. Trust me, you have no single idea. If you go outside the country, you tell somebody, "Oh, I'm from Africa," and I know a friend from Zimbabwe. You should know him. Are you crazy? They say that it's a group chat.
They have to tell them Africa is a continent.
Is it a group chat?
With 59 countries. How will I know one person
Don't be
somewhere?
silly.
Yeah, but yeah, most of us have that opportunity because of the privilege we have to serve, and then probably volunteer for organizations and all of that. So I can personally say, okay, I know somebody like this.
Thompson. How many times did I call you? Leave his trumpet. How many times did I call you?
3 times.
If I
and
mention
answered 3
somebody in
times.
South Africa now, do you know the person?
Yes, so
You
just
know-
mention the person.
Okay,
But the name should be very correct.
Kanye Mbao.
No, that one not
Okay.
for me now.
Anele.
Even Sharon is aware that you're lying
I'm not-
now.
I'm not
Calm down.
Lying care.
Kanye
No,
Mbao is a
okay.
South African actress.
You.
see?
You.
You see?
No, please turn the camera to Sharon. And then put the look again. No. That's not
Kanye
true.
Mbao
That's not
is
true.
an
That's not
South
true.
African actress.
Okay,
You know
so-
Anele.
God, you gave my camera to me.
Anele is a South
God,
African
okay.
host. She's a radio presenter. Anele. Okay, do you know
Mention artists.
Bonang Mateba?
That one came from Burna Boy now. I know him now.
You're not even-
Please put the camera in on this.
Do you know? Okay, do you know DJ Naked?
I know them now. How can it be naked?
You're not even serious, I think. Anyway, today is Global Africa,
Africa
Day.
Day,
We're
but
celebrating all the countries in this great continent. It's a very
Yeah.
rich, like I said, very interesting continent.
Yeah, actually.
and I love the fact
And
that
we like it. I like it that we serve as the giant of Africa
In
by
population.
population.
but
Mhm.
I think coming from you is suspicious because
I said by population. I completed my
I
statement.
like the
sir.
big
okay,
brothers
that's
of
fine. That's
Nigeria,
fine.
like,
Big
of
brothers.
Africa.
Yeah.
By population.
By population. Okay. So, but this year theme has to do with rebuilding African unity in age of fragmentation, sovereignty, solidarity, and the renewal of institutions. So, this theme actually emphasizes on the importance of unity and the need for institutions to maintain legitimacy in the continent, because a lot have actually gone wrong. Right from the slave period until today, even as we speak, that is still happening. Even over the weekend in Nigeria, we could deliberately see how parents, how uncles, how daddies, how leaders, so-called leaders, are actually manipulating the system. And then this day actually said, no, 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 no. Let's actually rebuild. Let's actually correct all of these fragmentations
Speaking on
and strive to be
Speaking
good.
on unity,
Yeah.
I'm tracing back to the xenophobic attacks in South Africa, because
Mm.
this is not how we can't be fighting against ourselves,
Mm.
because at the end of the day, we are all brothers.
Is
Brothers by
xenophobe was
color.
shot dead in South Africa last week.
Oh my!
Mm.
You see, this is what we're trying to elaborate on: unity amongst each other, because we are Africans. We are all Africans,
Mm.
and as such, we are brothers. We're just looking at, if you look at me and look at somebody from Kenya or somebody from Zambia, you think that we are related because
Mm.
we look alike. By terms of color and everything, we are from the same race.
Mm.
And so I feel like unity should actually be fostered amongst all African nations. Let's leave all the online dragging of Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, all this, just all dragging and everything. Most
As
of the
much
times,
as much as it is fine that we are not on the same pedestal as as individual countries,
yeah.
but we are one as a continent, and we should stand together. We should be united together. Yes, some countries might be more developed than the other. Some countries might have more resources or more infrastructure than the other, but it doesn't take away the fact that we are one. We are, united. We are one people at the end of the day. So
Even
we
in
should
terms
be
of
united.
sportsmanship
Mm.
too. AFCON, then
Mm.
I saw a lot of
Hate speeches.
yeah,
Mm.
exactly. There was hate from different African countries. In fact, it was not even towards us. Most of the time, it was towards themselves.
Mm.
There was a particular incident where one African country mocked another African country's one of their, when I say monarchs,
Mm.
yeah, the guy was representing one of their monarchs, and then because these people, they lost to them, this particular footballer decided to mock him by the thing that he did something that looks as mockery, and then it caused this particular person to start crying.
Mm.
And so I feel like that thing, the way it looks like, I was so pained, because this is sports. It's supposed to. It's one of the things that brings us together.
Yes.
One of the things that brings us together in
Sports
terms of,
actually
yeah,
unify. Yeah.
exactly, in terms of sportsmanship. You see when guys are in the viewing center, you
Mm.
don't know this person, but because you're
Yes.
supporting the same person, the same team they're
Club or
supporting.
team. Yeah.
Yo, that is how men relate when it comes to
Yeah.
this thing. And then you now ask, do you guys know each other? Be like, no, 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 no. But they were
Might not even know
gisting
your
and
names.
talking. Exactly.
Mm.
They don't know their names. Then hire some people now want to extend the friendship to,
Mm.
and better things, maybe business or whatever. But I feel like we should foster this togetherness.
But do you
Because
think that social media has played a very pivotal role in xenophobia?
it may be true. It
Mm.
may be true, because one thing I realized about individuals is that they use social media for the wrong things.
Mm.
It's not meant for- I was researching on today's people and culture, and then I realized that what I was researching on, it wasn't viral,
Mm.
and I was like, this is so educative, but it just got 200 and something likes, and I'm like, but if it's something that makes no sense, it will get like 200k likes
Mm.
overnight. And I'm like, this actually, I don't even understand what this thing is. There's supposed to be educational content that's supposed to be pushed forward, because some people don't know about this. And I'm telling you, you don't want to stick around for people and culture, because some people actually don't know about these certain things like this. This is also in commemoration with the Global Africa Day too. But we should foster togetherness. Those ones in the diaspora that feel like, oh, Nigerians are this, because we are stereotypes to be, since we have insecurity in our country, people tend to stereotype us and feel like, okay, we are equally as violent as them. Meanwhile, Nigerians are genuinely peaceful
And very
individuals. We don't
hospitable as
like
well.
wahala.
Mm.
Do you get? We don't like wahala, but if you bring it to us, please don't be surprised on what you see. But that's for some certain set of individuals. I know that the people I am part of will not stand for disrespect,
Mm.
but they will not go looking for trouble.
True.
Do you understand? So I feel like we should kill all stereotypes that okay, this country is known for this country is known for this, and foster peace and
Focus on the
unity.
bright side.
Exactly, focus on the bright side. Because I'm telling you, if you're on the Nigerian's good side, like if you don't bring wahala, we
Mm.
will literally will laugh with you and everything, shine it with you and all. I was sitting down with a white lady, and this white lady was kind of segregating me. I was like thinking that I would be hostile towards her.
Mm.
And I was chill. I was just with her. I was like, because I don't like stress. I don't like drama. So if you speak to me normally, I would follow you and talk on a normal. But outside, they feel like we are very, very, you know, hostile individuals. We are very violent because our nation is corrupt and everything. Let me let you know that our current government does not depict the the lifestyle and the hearts of
There's
Nigerians
something.
living
There's
in us.
something that there's something Burna Boy said, and I'm going
Mm.
to borrow his exact words.
Okay.
You go explain, tire.
Honestly.
No evidence. Anyway, that's so much can take on the national holiday segment. So we're going back to the music. When we come back, Sharon will take us through the health and wellness segment right here on the Morning Boss on Unico 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment 360. I'll leave in the hands of King Maddie. This one says American Love. Do not move away from your radio set. We'll be back before you know it. American Love by King Madi. Welcome back from that short music break. Time check is 27 minutes past hour of 8, and it's still the morning bus show right here on Unico 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment 360. We love to call it ADU Infotainment. And right now, we're moving straight to the next segment of the show, which is the health and wellness segment. And Sharon will take us through the health and wellness segment today. Sharon, what do you have for us?
Okay, today I have something very underrated, something that we don't talk about often. You know when you finish using the shower and then maybe you're using a white towel, and then before you know, you see that the towel is dirty.
I think that's why it's preferable to use white towels.
So that you will know the
So that you will
extent of
know.
your of your hygiene. Your towel might look like a harmless, fluffy companion after a bath, but in reality, it behaves like a silent sponge city, absorbing water, dead skin cells, sweat, and whatever microscopic hitchhikers are floating around your bathroom air. How you treat it can quietly influence your skin health more than you might expect. Now, caring for your towels is not just washing them occasionally. It involves regular washing every 3 to 4 uses for bath towels. I'm not saying you should wash like every day. At least every 3 to 4 days. Like when you count it, I know that at least it should be every week. I feel like you should say
Every week is more ideal.
Every week
3 days,
is ideal.
bow.
Every week is ideal. When you are
Except-
washing your clothes, you
Mm.
just soak your towels. My mom made us this thing where
Stick
you
it in
would
hot
soak
water.
the towel in hot water
Mm.
with hypo inside. That's why we use mostly white towels, so
Mm.
that anyhow it will not destroy the color of the towel. Also, proper drying after each use, no damp crumpling. It leads to no damp crumpling. Now, she also had this habit where she would tell us when we are done with
Spread
our
it out.
towels, because especially my brother has a bad habit then, where he would finish taking his bath and then the towel he used would be on our bed,
Mm.
because we were sharing a bed before one to another. So like he would put it on the bed and leave it there. And the thing irritates me because it's wet.
Mm.
Why is it on the bed? And it's the bed I arranged. So my mom would, if my mom sees it like this, she won't even say anything again. She'll just come and one very hard knock on the head like this. That's when you now realize that okay, he's supposed to be doing things. So when he's done with the bathroom, he'll just come out and air the towel there. Keep the towel there because it was safe in our own compound. So we just hang the towel there and keep. Also avoid shared use of personal towels. I know they're not. That toy is expensive. They're not that expensive now.
They're not that
They're
expensive.
not that expensive. Please do
Towels
not
are very
share.
expensive, oh.
It depends on the one you want to buy now.
Unless you want to use handkerchief and then be cleaning.
When you say very expensive, what price range are we talking about here?
Yeah, we're talking about 5,000.
Is
We are
that
talking about
expensive?
5,000 is not expensive.
It's
That is
not-
somebody's monthly
Something
salary.
this should not be
It's
from
not-
you.
it's not-
This
this
should not
is-
be from Thompson.
it's
Now
not
just a buy
vibes.
bag
It's
of
not- it's
rice.
not
This
disposable.
is somebody. This is somebody's monthly salary.
That's nobody's monthly salary.
That's nobody's money salary.
Oh,
You
That
know?
is nobody's
Oh,
monthly salary.
Okay, don't worry. Just go around the street. You
It
know.
is
No,
nobody's
are you
mon-
speaking for yourself or somebody else? Because this is somebody that bought bag of
No,
rice.
thing is, a towel is not wipes that is disposable. If you're buying it every 2 weeks, then I would say okay, that is expensive.
expensive.
But one towel can last for like 6 months, right? So if you're buying something of
Or
5,000
2 years. What are people who have used for
I
3
did not say
years?
that one, no. But you're buying something of 5,000.
Or
can
probably
last you for
throw out
6 months.
their year in the school. Okay, now if you carry out,
No,
let's say
no.
a kind of a survey, you could see that a lot of our students who are doing, let's say, 5-6 years program have actually used one towel throughout. Thank you.
No, if you're taking care of the towel,
Speaking of toy, you don't have a problem.
I
I
don't
Okay.
get what allow.
Okay.
Using mild detergents to preserve fabrics and skin safety. I think they used to write it behind. They used to write the indication in the detergent behind. Mild on clothes and mild on hands, mild on colors or whatever. So use mild detergents to preserve fabrics and skin safety. Sun drying or proper heat drying to kill microbes. Also replace old worn out towels that no longer dry properly. People that use torn towels or towels that have lost their color entirely, please replace the towel, please. The towel have tried. Think of a towel as a skin interface tool. It should always be clean enough to touch your body without risk. Some people just go ahead because you cannot see the visible dirt on your towel. You feel like okay, it's just there, it's okay, it's normal. I don't have a problem with it. I don't need to change it. And you don't actually put enough concentration into your towels. So I'm going to this importance of caring for your towels, and one of those importance includes protects your skin health. Clean towels reduce the transfer of bacteria, fungi, yeast, dirt, and oil, and this helps prevent skin problems like acne, rashes, fungal infections, and irritations. So people that feel like they've been battling with serious acne and they don't know where it's coming from, check your towels, check your beddings too, because people actually don't wash their beddings in a long time. It also reduces bad odor buildup. Damp towels that are not properly cleaned develop a sour, musty smell caused by bacterial growth. Proper care keeps them fresh and pleasant. It also improves hygiene and prevents infection. Towels can become reservoirs for microbes, so regular washing breaks this cycle, reducing chances of athlete's foot, ringworm, staphylococcal skin infections. It also extends the towel's lifespan. Good care keeps fibers strong, absorbent, and soft. Neglected towels become rough, thin, and less effective. It also supports overall household cleanliness. A clean towel contributes to a cleaner bathroom environment and reduces cross contamination between surfaces and the body. Now when towels are properly maintained, your body benefits in subtle but powerful ways. It helps you maintain a healthier skin barrier, less irritation and breakouts. It also lowers the risk of fungal and bacterial infections. It reduces allergic reactions caused by microbial buildup. And it also gives a better post bath hygiene. You're not reapplying dirt onto clean skin. It improves comfort and skin softness after drying. Now, consequences of not caring for towels include skin infections. Dirty towels can transfer organisms like Staphylococcus aureus, leading to boils, pimples, or infected cuts. It could also lead to fungal diseases like ringworms, athlete's foot, and jock itch. It could also lead to acne and skin irritation. Old towels with trapped oils, bacteria can clog pores and worsen acne, especially on the face. Allergic reactions could also be one of the consequences of not caring for your towels. Dust mites and microbial debris in poorly maintained towels may trigger itching, redness, or rashes in sensitive individuals. It also leads to persistent, unpleasant odor. Even after bathing, using a dirty towel can leave your skin smelling musty instead of fresh.
Okay.
It also leads to faster towel damage. Neglect leads to fiber breakdown, reduced absorbency, rough texture, shorter lifespan. You can see that there's some towels that if you use them on your body over time, it's not drying again, it's just rubbing the water on your skin.
Or the thread is you're now using thread
Yeah,
to rub on
to
your
rub
body. It's no
into
longer fabric.
so a towel is not just fabric, it is part of your daily hygiene system. When cared for, it protects your skin like a soft guardian. When neglected, it quietly becomes a carrier of unwanted microscopic passengers. If you treat your towel well, it returns the favor every single day. Dry, clean, and safe. So some people, I'm sure some people have neglected their towels. And if you're listening to me, please go and wash that towel. In case if you have the chance to soak it inside hot water, I usually soak mine inside hot water, put detergent, put bleach
Hmm.
into it, because it's very, very important that your towel is clean, because you don't want to finish taking your bath and then still reapply what you were avoiding by
Yeah.
taking a shower. And then you also can contribute to body odor, because
True.
you would feel like, okay, you've already taken your bath and everything, but then you will now use the towel that would leave one musty smell on your skin, which you do not want. And people that are very sensitive, they have very sensitive skin. Like I have like up to 4 towels I'm using. I
Hmm.
use one today, use the second one. I have 4 towels I'm using because I know that I cannot stay consistent to just one
Yeah.
because of how sensitive my skin is. So my mom actually encouraged that, okay, if I'm using the towel, I should wash it. But then I realized that I have like up to 4.
Hmm.
So when I know that I've exhausted the use of these ones and then they are prone to washing, I just soak everything at once and wash. And most of them are white. I just have one that is blue, but
Hmm.
most of them are white. So I soak in hot water. To those that have sensitive skin and battling with eczema or acne or ringworm, check your towels too. Because if you have very, very clean beddings, very clean fabrics that touch your body often, you don't have a problem. Some people have their pillowcases, the extensive pillowcases, bed sheets that need to be soaked and washed. And when you soak them, you realize you see black things. You see black water. The water turns black. You realize that, oh, you have used it to a point.
Hmm.
Because your head is going to be there. Ladies with hair that is already like grown,
Mm.
oils, dust, everything is coming together in your hand. It's going to still rub on that same pillowcase. So as much as possible, stay hygiene conscious. Take care of the fabrics that touch your skin as much
Somebody
as
said
possible.
something. The person said, no matter how much you use skincare, if your towels, if your beddings are not clean,
Mm,
they will not work. So
yeah.
ensure that you take good care of your towel. It's very, very important. Ensure that your towels are always clean and they're healthy if you want to have healthy skin. Well, 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 that's much can take on the health and wellness segment. We're going back to the music. When we come back and moving straight to the people and culture segment. Remember that they can still watch a live stream on Facebook, where Unicorn Radio International, on um on YouTube as well, Unicorn Radio. Ensure that you keep it, locked on Unicorn Radio. Drop a like, drop comments, and we're going to take it right here on the show. I'll leave it in the hands of Mr. Man by Faith. Do not move away from the radio set. We'll be back before you know it. By Faith. It's still the Morning Bus Show right here on Unico 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment 360. We love to call it a do infotainment. And right now, we're moving to the next segment of the show, which is the people and culture segment. And
Yay.
on this segment of the show, we keep you informed about culture, people, tradition, and everything in between. And today, Sharon has something very special for us. So, Sharon, take it away.
Oh, welcome to the people and culture segment. It's one of my favorite parts of the show. Every part of the show is nice. It's lovely.
Nobody
And
asked you for the patronage, just.
anyways, as a radio station, we are dedicated to give you the best of education, information, and entertainment, edu infotainment. Yeah, and this is one of the ways we educate you on Nigerian history, because our history has been threatened by a lot since the colonial era, and then some people are losing touch with their history. Some people don't even know where some things originated from. Some people don't know that, okay, these things were actually dated back to a long period of time. Some things actually existed centuries ago. And so on this segment, we talk on people, we talk on tourist attractions, places that hold high regard in the history of Nigeria, and also events too. And one of these events is known as the Festac 77. In case you don't know what Festac means Festival of Arts and Culture, and it was one of the biggest parties Nigeria has ever thrown in the history of time. This particular event it drew a lot of attention from Africa. People from different countries came to Nigeria to participate in the arts and culture, in um performance and all. A lot of high prominent dignitaries came, people like the likes of Sonia Day, Steve Wonder, and others. Now, Festac 77 is one of those cultural moments that felt less like an event and more like a continent stretching its shoulders after a long sleep, bright, loud, and unapologetically African. Festa 77, formerly known as the Second World Black and African Festival of Arts and Culture, was hosted in Nigeria from January the 15th to February the 12th, 1977. It was born out of a larger Pan African vision to celebrate Black identity, artistic excellence, and shared heritage across Africa and the global diaspora. The idea did not start in Nigeria. The first festival, Festac 66, was held in Dakar, Senegal in 1966. That gathering planted a seed. African leaders and cultural thinkers realized something important. The Black world needed a recurring space to reclaim, showcase, and preserve its cultural voice in the aftermath of colonialism. From that seed, Festac was expanded and reimagined for a bigger stage. Nigeria, under the leadership of General Olusegun Obasanjo, won the right to host the second edition. The decision reflected Nigeria's rising political influence and its ambition to position itself as a cultural lighthouse for Africa. Lagos was chosen as the epicenter, and the country invested heavily in infrastructure, including the construction of the famous Festac village to house thousands of participants. Now, this particular event lasted for 4 weeks, and the government built 5,000 luxury housing units in Festac Town to host a lot of individuals that came from different parts of Africa. And it was said that around 142 billion naira was spent for this particular event. Imagine. Yeah,
As at
1977.
1977.
Mind you, that was the time that we newly discovered oil money. And so money was surplus then. And because of that, we were able to plan this and do it well. But some people criticized it over time because they were like, this is actually too much. And then after this particular event, inflation came in, other economical consequences from spending that amount of money came in. But we are appreciating the fact that this type of events could be held in Nigeria to promote Black excellence and African culture and roots. Now, at its core, Festac 77 was not just a festival, it was a declaration. It gathered artists such as Stevie Wonder. It gathered writers, musicians, scholars, and performers from over 50 countries in Africa and the diaspora, including the Americas and the Caribbeans. The goal was simple but powerful: to reconnect fragmented Black identities through art, performance, and intellectual exchange. Festac 77 became a symbolic bridge between Africa and its dispersed children, especially those shaped by the transatlantic slave trade. It featured exhibitions, theater, music, dance, symposiums, and the now famous symbol of the Sankofa spirit, the idea of reaching back to move forward. Nigeria's role as host was both logistical and symbolic. The nation became a living museum of Black creativity for nearly a month. Mind you, the events took place for 4 weeks. It lasted for 4 weeks in total. Imagine how large this event was. Back to back, there were performances, there were musical, different, a lot of things. I wish I was there to actually, experience it firsthand. But oh well, I can only view it through social media. Lagos pulsed with drums, languages, costumes, and ideas from across continents, while the National Theatre in Igamu served as a central stage for performances. The National Theatre was constructed in Lagos, complete with a 5,000-seater auditorium. Now, I was blessed enough to actually go and visit that place myself. So the top of the National Theatre is shaped like a general's cap. Shaped like general's cap. And so that place that you see on every billboard advertising Nigeria, every video advertising Nigeria is a restricted area. The area that I was opportune to see was the lower part, and then the lower part has different theaters, different theaters in them. Yeah, exactly. Different halls. Now, at the front of the National Theatre, you see the Queen Amina of Zaria. You see her, I think, biography there. There was also a statue too. I've forgotten what that actually signified. But the National Theatre was constructed for these events. Also, the festival's legacy still echoes today. It strengthened cultural diplomacy in Africa, inspired later Pan-African artistic movements, remains one of the largest gatherings of Black and African culture in modern history. Even decades later, Festa 77 is remembered not just for what it displayed, but for what it affirmed that African identity is not scattered fragments, but a vast interconnected tapestry. You know, we said today is Global Africa Day, and we are speaking for oneness and togetherness. And imagine, in a time like 1977, people had this notion to come together as Africans. What was the biggest event that happened during that time? Africans came from where they were. They portrayed their cultures, their different diverse cultures. Imagine how large that is, because just Nigeria alone, we have a lot of cultures to depict. Imagine Africa. And then these African countries, they don't just have one culture. They also have diverse cultures
Yeah.
in their own spaces. And so this Festa 77 was the main agenda was to bring people together in unity and oneness, and to also promote Black culture, Black excellence, Black art, creativity as a whole. It's the official symbol for Festa 77 was a replica of the Queen Idia's ivory mask to project strength, history, and beauty. Now, if you browse the Festa 77, you see particular marks. They forced us to draw it in fine art, so you would know it. Like, it has, if I describe it well, it has two lines at her forehead. It's the Queen Idia's ivory mask. Now, it's actually very painful that we don't talk about Nigerian history. We have Nigerian history um in educational syllabus today, because this type of things, like this thing now, I didn't learn it from school, funny enough. And different things that I live close to Festac. Because at the moment,
is that the reason why? Because I've always wondered what's the meaning of Festa. I know that there's a street or there's an environment.
a
Yeah,
whole
called Festa
environment.
Yeah.
Festa
Yeah.
in Lagos, and I've always wondered why is it called Festa. But now I understand fully why it's called Festa.
Now, the particular luxury units, if you go there, they are not being kept properly. Most of them are dilapidated. No, dog, they were luxury units then. Then they looked better then, because if you see them, I'd encourage you to go online and do research on it, actually, because you would see how beautiful it was then. But now it is so dilapidated. People still live in it though. It has served as a form of rent, because the Nigerian government said instead of letting these things go to waste, letting them be dilapidated just like that, they decided to rent. Let people rent this set of buildings. If you look inside, actually, it's actually very homely, very comfortable. So like every unit was very comfortable for people to come in and stay. I think is one room, yeah. It was a one-room apartment for most of it. But now what you will see is buildings that have been stricken with algae, and they have not been kept properly, with numbers on them, because they had numbers on them, and it spanned, I think, my two, yes, my two. So that was the area that those certain individuals came and settled, so that they will have where to stay while celebrating what they were celebrating. So I feel like this should be introduced back into the Nigerian educational system, Nigerian history. We should not lose touch with our history. We should not be so modernized to the point where we do not know where our roots are from. You see, you ask an average child, where are you from? And then they're telling you, I'm from so and so place. Okay, they will not ask you questions about your lineage and all, and you don't know anything. You don't know what to say about it. So I feel like it should be kept as it should be encouraged. Nigerian should be encouraged. Also, Nigerian languages too, because I was opportunity to learn about the culture of Yoruba culture, because of the fact that it was incorporated into the Nigerian syllabus. I was also opportunity to learn about the Igbo culture too, because then we did two languages, Igbo and Yoruba, because they were prevalent in the area. And I hear here they do Efik and Ibibio too here. So as much as possible, I feel like we should encourage more more history in the syllabus. Let there be a course or a subject that has to do with the indigenous practices, culture of Nigeria as a whole, because it spans through everything. We are so diverse here that even words cannot describe how how wide we are as a people. Just Nigeria alone, oh, imagine Africa. And so this is to actually still remind us of the fact that Africans can actually be together. We can be in oneness. Because if this type of event took place successfully well, might I add. Exactly. If it took place successfully well, because if you go online, you'd browse, you'd see some videos that came out of those archives. They would give you an identity number. You have a full on card. You come and register and everything. The people were ready and arranged enough to get these people on.
Hmm.
It now makes me wonder, how mighty have we fallen?
Well, at the end of the day, I mean, African unity is very important, factor in society. We should learn to, be
Exactly.
united. We should learn to, look out for each other. There's really no need for xenophobia. I don't think
Yes.
there should be a place for xenophobia in Africa. We are
Mm.
one,
Yeah.
we are brothers, like Sharon, earlier stated, and we should live in peace and harmony.
Harmony. And if you look at what actually happened yesterday, how did they call him? Peter Obi's visit to South Africa. Trust me, you would think something like that never actually happened. So I think this is just a welcome development, though.
All right, that's much can take on the people and culture segment. We're going back to the music and be reminded that by 9 o'clock the news flash comes up and then the morning bus show continues. The number of away from the radio sets will be back before you know it. I will leave you in the hands of Iris Star. This one says, commas. The number of away from the radio sets will be back before you know it. The time is 9 a.m. Good morning, Calabar. Welcome to the News Flash on Unical Radio International, 103.5 FM Calabar, Cross River State, Nigeria. My name is Vine Henshaw. Here are the top headlines of the hour. Starting from the home scene, Cross River launches twice yearly HIV prevention injection at General Hospital Calabar. On the national scene, APC primaries, Tinubu polls 10.9 million votes to clinch presidential ticket. Elsewhere in Nigeria, OT unveils 1.3 billion naira water project in Abia State. Away from Nigeria, Stammer appalled by case of boys spared jail after raping teenage girls. In the world of entertainment and lifestyle, Wizkid opened door for African artist, says Nasty C. Lastly, in sports, Iheanacho hopes to stay at Caltech. Details of all these and more coming up by 1 p.m. If you have news reports from the area, hostels, departments, and faculties, please call our news hotline on 0809 4444 058. You can also follow us on all our social media handles. On Facebook, we are Unical Radio International. On Instagram, TikTok, and X, we are Unical Radio. Please do away with any form of discrimination and nepotism as we strive to build a united nation. And always remember, as Malabites, Malabresses, and Crossovarians, we are known for reasonable action. My name is Vine Henshaw. Stay tuned and keep it locked right here on Unical Radio International, 103.5 FM Calabar, Cross River State, Nigeria. The Morning Bus Show continues shortly. Stay very close to your radio set. Good morning. 10 minutes past the hour of 9. Welcome back from that break. That was Ole by King Maddie and Benson. It's still the Morning Bus Show right here on Unico 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment 360. We love to call it a do infotainment. And right now, we're moving straight to the top story slash conversation of the day. Because of how lengthy it is, we decided to just, merge everything together. Today, we're talking about one of the failures of government. I think over and over and over again, we've been talking about different failures of government, and today we are, spotlighting one of them. Now, I came across a video on social media yesterday, and it broke my heart so much. As much as this is not kidnapping, it's not banditry, but it still broke my heart regardless. Now, popular comedian and content creator Isaac Joseph, widely known as comedian Koboko, has joined residents of Efuene community in Calabar to speak against the deplorable condition of the community's access road and bridge, warning politicians not to expect votes from the area if nothing is done urgently. Now, Koboko, who visited the community and shared videos of the situation on his social media page, expressed shock over what residents describe as decades of neglect despite the community's close proximity to central Calabar. According to residents, a foot Ifuine has remained without a functional access road for more than 30 years, leaving thousands of people isolated from the rest of the city. The community is geographically located between the University of Cross River State and University of Calabar, yet residents say basic infrastructure remains completely absent. Speaking in the video, Koboko insisted that government officials should not bother coming to campaign in that community unless the road situation is addressed. Angry residents maintain that politicians only remember the community during election periods, alleging that they have been abandoned for successive administrations and political office holders despite repeated appeals over the years. The major access route into the community reportedly resembles an abandoned bush track, while an incomplete and seemingly abandoned bridge project sits dangerously over a deep valley that residents say has become a serious threat to lives and properties. Community members also allege that even government officials and political appointees who originate from the area fail to attract meaningful development to the community. Residents called out several elected representatives, including Joseph Bassi, House of Reps member representing Bakassi, Ekbabuyu, and Calabar South Federal constituency, and the local government chairman, accusing them of only visiting the community every 4 years during elections. They warned that the community's three polling units would not be available for political activities if the road and other critical problems remain unresolved. Residents listed several other pressing challenges facing the community, including lack of clean water, absence of electricity, poor educational facilities, and persistent flooding. They allege that the only available water source in the area is brownish and unhealthy for human consumption. The community also recounted the recent tragic incidents where heavy rainfall reportedly caused the valley to overflow, leading to the death of an entire family in their sleep after flood water invaded their homes. Now, this is a very long read. I can go on and on and on and on and on. I never even knew that this kind of community existed, first of all. And second of all, to know that this place has been like this for over 30 years is very sad and heartbreaking. I saw the video. I don't know, if you have come across a video on comedian Koboko's Facebook page, but it's a very deplorable sight. It's a very, 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 very sad thing to behold because I cannot imagine people living like that, with such conditions, no good roads, no clean drinkable water, no proper infrastructure. The bridge is completely dilapidated, and somehow these people have representatives. We have local government chairman in that local government. That's Calabar South, and it's not like it's a remote community or a remote village somewhere in
It's in between two critical
it's still in Calabar, right?
yeah,
And like you said, in between
two critical
Unical
places, yeah.
and Unicross. So you can't tell me that it's a remote village or somewhere that's abandoned. For over 30 years, there's no sign of government intervention, and it's very very sad because at the end of the day, it makes me wonder, what exactly is the role of government? Is it not to provide basic amenities for the citizens? Because when I see things like this, it makes me wonder if at all the government really cares.
Mm.
Because if the governments do care about the citizens, the masses, right, they would do things that would make their lives more and more bearable. Because let's be honest, Nigerians are not asking for too much. Just give them the basic amenities.
Mm.
That's end of discussion. Just give them the basic amenities, good roads, water supply, good educational system, and they're good. But in the sense where you're not giving them the basic amenities and somehow you still expect them to vote you into political offices, make it make sense.
Their clear take was, if nothing is done about this,
And I
no
like their stance.
election.
I like their stance that they
No
should not bring their
election.
campaigns to that community. That if
Exactly.
they don't do anything about it, that there's nothing that's going to be done in terms of voting for them. Because what's the point? At this point, what is the essence of voting for these people when they clearly are not representing them well? They clearly are not having their best interest at heart. So
Okay.
what's the point of voting for them?
Well, I actually hope that people are not going to, after standing on this, younger people are not going to go behind their backs and go
Oh,
and collect
oh my
things
goodness.
from these set politicians, because for them to say they have 3 polling units in that region, it means that these people are on the map. They are on the
There are
map
over
Exactly.
1,000 houses in that community.
in this community, and it's in between the University of Calabar and the University of Cross River State. Imagine how this place is actually very critical, to be very honest with you, but it has been neglected. And the funny thing is,
For 30
let's-
years.
living dragging the governor,
That's almost impossible to believe.
they have
30
a
years.
local government chairman. It's there, people that will come and still come and do campaign, come and bring shirts, caps, bags of rice, oils branded with their names on it to do political campaign, and yet you can't even. I don't even understand. It's so pathetic that you can't even the place you can't stay in, the place you can't stand, like, and talk to the masses on how you did well and everything. You also want to come there again to embarrass yourself, because it's embarrassment, to be very honest with you, if they are going to come and campaign for another term or for a new term, whatever, for another term, yeah, because there's some people that are going for the next term again. So it's
Just
very
like the
pathetic
representative, the person representing Calabar South, at Pabuyo and Makasi Federal constituency, he's going for his second term, in office, and this is a community in his constituency. It's embarrassing. I think that's the right word.
Yeah.
It's very, very embarrassing.
that you will stand in that same place to educate people on how you will do better in the next term, when you have not even proven to them that you can do better now.
Okay, so I think for me, basically, I'll take a different dimension, unarguably. If you look at what happened over the weekend, I can proudly tell somebody that I am depressed. Do you know why? Because you see, somebody's father, somebody's uncle, somebody's, I don't know, somebody's leader, a leader is counting 1 to 10 and then jump to 99, jump to 1,000, jump to 1 million, and is counting and proudly going around celebrating how the president have successfully gotten over 10.9. That's about 11 million votes in primaries. And then you begin to ask yourself a simple questions like, are we truly ready? And so the best answer for you out there, you know what the answer is. But for me particularly, I would just boldly say no, because this is my personal opinion. I think we are not yet ready. Now, if you look at communities within the local government that the current governor of Cross River State is coming from, you will ask yourself, are the young people in that community actually ready? So the answer is as good as what you out there, get to know. Let's take, for instance, and there's a community called Ifako village in Odukwane local government area. These persons have stayed for over 9 years. I know we're talking about 30 years here. Now, 30 years of no electricity. In fact, there are communities in Cross River State particularly that over how many years now? In fact, right from when those communities were found till date, from their founding fathers till date, they have not seen any drilling water. They drink
Now,
water from the
sad
stream.
part is that these communities have people that are representing them, both
They
at the state
have
level and the
representatives.
federal level.
Over the weekend, we heard that the governor is doling out electric cars. Let's say, for instance, you're driving down to Akampa and then your battery finishes. Where you go charge them? Who go tow them to come back?
That's where your
That's
journey
the
will
problem.
end.
Do you understand? So we have a bigger problem. We have a way of solving. Let's take, for instance, the University of Calabar. Now, well, I may not know whether we are truly out of the national grid, but from what I see so far, we've had constant electricity supply in the university, courtesy of what solar light.
Right.
Now, if you look at that, we have solved a lot of issues. If you go to my street where I tell you the vice chairman of that particular local government is staying there, we have over 2 councillors residing in that area. The former chief of, look, if you look around that area, we don't have electricity as we speak today. This is getting to a week. We don't see electricity, and when they bring it, they'll bring a current that you cannot even use it to charge the list of any appliances whatsoever. You'll be even afraid if it will get spoiled. So that particular community that is just gaslighting right away, I think is just something that at some point in time you ask yourself, are young people actually ready? The answer is no, because these are the same persons who will go to even put their own money, bet their own money to ensure that they make posters, they go and pin those posters, they go and put those signposts and all of that. And when it's time for elections, you still the same persons who will go out there for campaigning. So I think young people are not actually ready, if you ask me, because with this alone, it is enough for us to say this particular local government councillor representing this at this place is not yet ready. It's not serious. It's not visible. Not to talk about the House of Reps members, the Senate. All they are interested of is 2027 general elections. Don't forget, somebody was asking a question. Now, the presidency, right from presidency down to the list councillor, everybody is interested of the 2027 general elections, primaries and all of that. Nobody is talking about the teacher that was just beheaded, a nurse that was mutilated in her own apartment, and nobody is talking about all of those things. So they are talking about elections. So if you look at those critical things, there are a lot of communities. I don't want to mention my own community. You ask where is light, where is water, and when they want to bring water to a street, they look for who is a party member and then put it in his compound. Is that how it's supposed to be in this 21st century? For crying out loud, I think we're just wasting our time. No wonder the former commissioner for education, when he was lecturing us, he used to look at a group of students and you say, well, beg my pardon. He would say, this is functional illiterate, because you go to school and then it doesn't have any impact. You go to church, it doesn't have any impact. You go to religious organization, your cultural beliefs and all of that, nothing, no impact whatsoever in our society. So it's as worst as that.
Okay, let's ask a big question this morning. How do you feel about a community right inside Calabar between two major universities living without road, bridge, or clean water, even electricity for over 30 years? Who do you believe should be held responsible for this kind of long-term neglect and failure? Let us know this morning, 0809 4444 I'll take that again, 0809 4444 You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number, and we'll take it right here on the show. Who do you believe that should be held responsible for, such neglect? Because let's be honest, 30 years, I'm not even up to 30 years. Like, let's put it out there. I'm not even up to 30.
Imagine the number of governors that have.
Exactly. Imagine that the last person that even tried to make an effort was Donald Duke during his administration. He tried to make an effort. Ever since then, there's been neglect in that community. Now, I'm not up to 30 years. Imagine somebody who is 30 years from the day the person was born in that community up until when they are 30, they've not seen electricity, they've not seen clean water, good road. That's a very pathetic, very sad life, to leave. Now, let us know, who do you think should be held responsible for such failure? Because let's be honest, this is a very pathetic failure on the path of governance. Because at the end of the day, people are representing this community. We have people in different tiers of government representing this community, and these people have blatantly said that if something isn't done urgently to solve that situation, that they shouldn't even think about campaigning or thinking about bringing elections to that community. And I hope that they stand by that decision, because at this point they are justified. At this point they are justified, because you cannot neglect people for over 30 years and still expect something from them at the end of the day. It doesn't happen that way.
Another perspective I would like to come from the aspect of the people, not the government. Now, I want to be devil's advocate at this point.
Okay.
Now, if you watch the video that comedian Kobuko, did, he did a comprehensive sweep of the environment and was calling out government and everything, and government officials and further officials are here. But then my own is, I hope the people are not actually adding to it, because we saw a lot of refuse
It's
in
a
that same
valley
environment.
that is
Exactly.
filled with refuse.
Mind you, he stood on where it was supposed to be gutter,
Mm.
and it
And he
was
was floating.
yes. So if in fact it was to a point that they said you should not go to a certain extent, because if you went there you would sleep inside the water, and I'm sure that water is very deep,
Mm.
and that's going like that. So I'm now asking now, on the part of the people, are the people fully vindicated of this, or are they added to it? Because you know how we have this culture in Calabar where we dump things into gutters instead of packing them properly and then putting them in the right receptacles. We dump things into gutters, and we were like, okay, since the gutter is deep enough, it will go to wherever we don't know.
Now, mind you, there's a policy that says that if you are caught dumping refuse in the gutters, you're going to be penalized. Now, so far, so good. How many people have been caught and penalized
How many would have
for
penalized,
dumping
like, half
refuse
of
in? So, what does
Calabar?
that tell you? That the governments are not doing their jobs. They're not holding their own end of the bargain. Because if you catch people and apprehend them for dumping refuse in the gutters, people will learn their lessons, right? But in the case where it's just a policy, it's not being implemented, what do you expect?
And on the other hand, we also arrest the governments who have also failed to ensure that those, if you look at their trash cans, right, they keep them close to gutters, right? And so what happened to those trash
When
cans
it
when they are
fills up.
filled? They return back to the gutter. So the government will also be held responsible for neglecting what they're supposed to do.
It only takes a very responsible Nigerian citizen to actually properly dispose their waste. Be like, okay, this is actually foam. Let me look for another place to properly dispose it.
Funny how sometimes they do it. But then we keep asking, what is the role of youth leaders in respective communities? Because we have scavengers who go deep inside those things and bring them all outside. You see, sometimes you see a lot of
okay, now
waste
that's another
outside.
thing. There was a policy that prohibited scavenging in Cross
Scavengers.
River State, but I
Man,
bet you,
I still
Oh,
I bet
you see,
there are
right?
still scavengers
Okay.
still scavenging in the dustbin.
I had an issue here. I was coming back from work one time like that, and there's this receptacle that is close to it, opposite DSS. Now, this guy was inside the receptacle, and he was throwing things. Do you know something almost hit me because of that? Like I had to duck because I was wondering who was inside there. I knew somebody was inside there, but I was like, why are you throwing things outside? But I didn't say anything because I don't know who is who, and I had to walk very fast. Mind you, I'm avoiding being hit by the things he's throwing outside. I'm also avoiding the car hitting me while the car is coming this way. So I have to do everything I'm doing and walk very fast to show you how unsafe it is. Then we have policies in place. And you know one painful thing? It's opposite a DSS barracks.
The thing is,
That's the
I'm
painful
never
thing.
moved by policies made, because at the end of the day, it's one thing to sit and make policies. It's another thing entirely for you to actually implement these policies, because it's easy. Let's be honest. It's very easy to make policies, but implementing these policies and ensuring that it is adhered to strictly is another problem. And I think the governments, they are not willing to see to it that these policies are adhered
Obeyed,
to
yeah.
strictly. Now we have a text message here. It says, my name is Jacob from Ikwobasi. Honestly, what is happening in Efute-Fuene is the clearest proof that our leaders have completely abandoned their responsibilities. This is not a remote community in the middle of nowhere. It is inside Calabar, between two universities with thousands of residents. For a place like that to lack a basic road, a working bridge, clean water, electricity, and drainage for over 30 years shows a total breakdown of governance from the local government all the way to the state level. Every political office holder connected to that area should be answering serious questions right now. All right, thank you very much, Jacob from Ikubasi, for texting. Keep it coming, 0809 4444058. I'll take that again, 0809 4444058. You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number, and we'll take it right here on the show. It's so sad to see that
30 years. That is
like
ridiculous.
I said, I'm not up to 30 years. So I'm trying to
30 years. It's so
imagine
ridiculous.
what level of darkness that community has been in for 30 years.
That is more than darkness.
And imagine, they said that recently there was a case where flood actually claimed the life of
Lives
a
of
family. And
Yeah.
you know the funny thing, things like this are underreported. That's my problem because when you don't go into these communities and get to
Yes.
find out from them one on one, their problems, their plights are underreported. Now, let's say comedian Kuboko never took the initiative to go into that community and report the story. We would never know that something this bad, something this pathetic is happening in that community.
That is to tell you that somebody who have a phone charged and then have data and then someone's courage to say, no, let me go to this community actually exists. That's to say, for 30 good years, nobody in that community has gone to school. Nobody in that community have actually gone to church. Nobody in that community have done anything whatsoever. And I think there should be part of our museum. And if not, being captured, probably they were in First Act sometimes ago, but I don't know why up to today they have not been able. So if you put the entire community together, you mean there is nobody that came out from that community at least to be on social media, at least to do so. This is why I keep asking, what are young people actually doing? Yeah, I thought over the weekend, and then I hear people say the Gen Z generation, and then what does it really translate into? I think it should translate into having that consciousness to look around you and say, this is not functioning well. I keep taking pictures of my street whenever I come outside. And the other day I was like, this is a place they say a vice chairman is staying, and you're trashing dustbin right in your gate, and you're leaving that place to work every day, and you're not seeing it. And you think these kind of persons are going to see all of this kind of thing? No. We ask a question. If you travel around Akankpa, for instance, there was a time a certain commissioner, was about, having one of the father's burial. Trust me, they have to start filling those gutters because they know visitors are going to stop. Those from Akwa Ibom are going to stop over from Adukmani and then start using that road. They start filling those potholes as we speak. After the burial, go there today and see the difference.
So that goes to show that these people know what to do.
They know what to do, but because the young people are supporting them not to do the right thing. That is why they are very comfortable. Because election period like this, look at the counting that I was depressed. I don't know whether I'm still depressed till today, but I am worried that the kind of situation we find ourselves. This is somebody's father. If guy is not taking, he's a religious leader. He started counting from 1 to 10. He jumped to 90. He jumped to 200. Before you know it, he was counting in millions within a short period of how many seconds? Like, it is very troubling. It is worrisome.
Okay, we have a message here. This one says, my name is Daniel and I'm texting from Goldie. I think the councillor is to be blamed for it.
Okay.
Okay, Daniel, thank you so much for texting. We have another WhatsApp message here. It says, I am Bassi, texting from Ikbobasi again. The situation is embarrassing because it exposes how leaders only value communities during election cycles.
Okay.
You cannot tell me that politicians don't know about the suffering in Ifutefine when they literally go there to campaign every 4 years. It means they're aware. They just don't care. And when you see residents saying they won't allow campaign activities next time, I fully understand them. No community should be begging for the most basic things like roads and drinkable water in 2026. I couldn't agree less.
For crying out loud. Do you understand? And if you take a look on these communities, if you go there during the campaigns, they will be so comfortable. A good number of persons there will be so comfortable to sit down
there
and
drink.
Drink. That all they know is drink, declare. Drink.
It's actually sad that they can go there to do polling, to do adverts, political campaigns and all. When was the last time we did a census? Because I feel like even the incumbent leaders,
the
in
former
Nigeria
president introduced census and nothing happened.
They don't know how
Billions
much
of naira
of us
were actually released
is in Nigeria. We just know that we are over so and so billion.
Last month we were told we're over 200. This month I think we're over 220 million.
And people are dying,
and
people
this is why the primaries
now,
numbers are increasing.
Now you have the audacity to come to a small community as that to do political campaigns, but no census has been done. This census, there's importance in it because you'll be able to calculate and know how much you're going to budget to a certain extent. Because to me, they're just doing budgets of anything. You're not saying, okay, so trillions of naira has been budgeted for this. Where is the money coming from?
If we were to be during the days of the former governor, we would have been so happy to hear budget of charismatic
So you see how
We
you
are
see how
missing.
there's a lot of dimensions towards this thing. They are not if they're not under the sun, there are a lot of remote villages in Nigeria, basically, and which is not
Okay.
supposed to be. Because if you learn from this is why we're supposed to learn from the examples of people outside, of countries outside, they know they can keep track of. That's why if they want to do
There's something
investigations,
called data.
exactly.
And we lack data
If
in
they
this
want to do
country.
investigations, they don't even need to do much. Your system, your things, your credentials, everything, biometrics and all are already in the system. You have an NIN, you have a national identification card. You definitely all your information will come out on their system. They have a database. They have sensors that they're doing. But you cannot keep track of. Imagine me, I'm a small family now, for example. Now, this woman gave birth to 5 children, and they're asking her, how many children do you have? And she said she does not know. Then how are you able to take care of these children? How are you able to budget well for these children? It's very, very important for them to know how many individuals are in these particular spaces. And because the census is not done to reach those spaces, they don't usually have the it takes a leader that is people friendly for them to know that okay, there's some remote villages, we need to go to these places, census need to be done, things need to be done. Because trust me, the counselor that is there, it's possible that money is coming towards his direction, but it's not just adding, and then nobody's holding him accountable for
Now
his
that's
actions.
the thing. That's the thing. I think if we can get to that point where we hold our leaders accountable, everything will get better somehow.
I mean, if you were to give them the audience when they come for political campaigns, then
They
you
should
should
give us the
drag
audience.
them
Yes, they should
when
give us the
they
audience
do
when
wrong.
we ask for accountability.
Exactly. Because when you sent me this story yesterday, I was like, what promises were made when they came the first time? Because it's from
What
there.
promises have been made for the past 30 years?
It's from there you now drag them and be like, okay, they were supposed to fence
30
gutter.
good years.
That was
Like
this
I'm
project and
solid
all.
in
years.
awe.
Something
My
is in a
mouth
video.
is
There's a
aghast.
house.
I watched
There's a house
it.
that looks
I
like
saw
as if
all of
it's-
that.
There's
Yeah.
a house that looks like as if it's good. So when he now opened his mouth to say that the house is actually collapsed, I had to see it. I was like, are you serious? From far you will not know. And that place is already covered by bushes and all. So these places they are here in Nigeria, and they are other. In fact, we know of this place because it's in between 2 universities and all. But there's some remote villages that we don't know
And
about.
we might never know about because there are people that are not
Do you understand?
talking about it. And you have to. The funny thing about stories like this is you have to go there by yourself to find out these stories, because sometimes I think the media somehow has a way of trying to hide certain things.
Yeah, because of the rules and regulation, unnecessary policies that you cannot do this, you cannot do that. If you remember or recall the story that happened around Ikodanwatin precisely, if you knew what happened there back then, you would know that indeed. Look, our politicians, they know what they're doing. It's because we are giving them that leverage. For me,
I
you
think
can't
so.
call me. Just imagine the other time we told you that a particular person came to the state after how many years, and you came to the school and asked students to go to that place to go and welcome somebody. Like, and I keep asking myself, would I ever do such a thing? I can't do that.
Okay.
Because it's embarrassing.
Join the conversation this morning, 0809 4444058. I'll take that again, 0809 4444058. You can send an SMS to that number or send a WhatsApp message to that same number. What do you think about this conversation this morning? Okay, we have a message from Margaret. Margaret is texting from Krutek. And she says, what annoys me the most is that this kind of neglect doesn't just happen overnight. It takes decades of silence, excuses, and empty promises.
Okay.
Successive governments knew this community existed. Representatives from that constituency knew. The local government chairman knew. Yet nothing changed. It shows that the system is comfortable leaving people behind as long as votes keep coming. And now that the community is finally speaking out, I hope that the government is listening, because this is long overdue.
And if only the government would not go behind and probably finger some persons and get people arrested, because things like this, it has happened in many communities where when people come out to say, oh, we have not had water. There are lots of communities in Cross River State, they say, oh, road project, they'll go and buy cement, bring rod, and then do a little and abandon it. But when you come back to investigate how much the government have released for this project, you see billions of naira going in there. Like, you begin to ask yourself, who released these funds?
But
Who
don't you
is with
think-
these funds? What is
Don't
happening?
you think, as a political leader, you should be ashamed of yourself for wanting to go for a second term in office when you have
Nothing.
abandoned project, when you've not done
Absolutely
something
nothing.
tangible. I think
They,
it should
they
be
tell
something
you
that you should be ashamed of.
next thing.
Well, you did not do it in the first tenor, and you somehow you
Mm.
think that you magically do it
for
in the
4
next
good
one.
years.
Okay, let's take a few reactions on social media. This one is from Achibong Edem Ali, and he says, "You guys on election issues, will your votes count? Without
Yes.
conducting elections in that community, elections will be conducted, winners emerge. You will be surprised to hear the numbers of votes
votes
from
that will
that
come from that place,
community
okay.
to the winning party without election.
Okay.
Call government attention to the areas. Don't use elections as a threat to the government of the day."
Okay.
I see what he said there, what he's saying there.
Yeah.
I understand him, because to an extent, right? If we want to be truthful, if we want to tell ourselves
Election
the
will
truth,
still happen in that
that's the
place.
thing. That's,
And
if you
people
want-
from
if-
that
if-
place will
if-
still vote.
If you want to
They
put
have
it
been
critically.
voting.
Okay, another reaction here is from Stanzi Omori. Said, "As much as we will keep calling on the government to come to our rescue, we should also learn to know that we are the first victims when these things happen. The rate at which people dump things in the gutters
My
and
point
beside
exactly.
Okay.
beside the road is annoying. We should know that our government has failed us, and try to keep our environment safe."
Because these are channels.
Mm.
They are channels. They are not dump sites. Channels. And so these channels, they carry things to different places. And you dump refuse and think that, okay, it's not going anywhere.
Hmm.
And
Go
on
and
the other
visit-
hand,
Go and visit somewhere like Marina Resort to actually
Okay.
see the area, the shore around where that body of water is.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure that thing, that whole dump, it has been refuse that has accumulated over time.
Over time.
And it's not just the government that needs to be
And-
dragged. People also need to be conscious of their environment.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell me that you dispose refuse properly and then boom, it lands in the gutters. Because I know that definitely it barely happens. But people actively dump things where they're not supposed to be and expect that it will magically disappear from nowhere.
we have Commissioner for Environment in Cross River State. We have Commissioner for Environment. So what qualifies you to be appointed as a Commissioner for Environment? What qualifies you to be there as a Commissioner for Environment? We have essays, we have House of Assembly members in charge of environment and all of that.
Mm.
What exactly are we guys doing? What are we doing? Like that person actually said, yeah, elections will definitely go on those communities successfully, and winners. In fact, you'll be surprised with the kind, especially now that primary votes are looking like some bread that if you put water, it will swell up, it will swell up, it will swell up. Like, I wonder what's going to happen during the elections. Trust me, you'll be shocked with the kind of votes coming out from those people.
And
And
they don't
majority of
want-
those
they
persons
don't
are
want
people who
innovation.
have, in one way or the other, attended these same big institutions we're talking about. They have attended and they did projects, and they ask you, bring your project, bring 100 papers. They brought it and they say, what did you do? Rather than talking about your own community. This is why I think this how do they call it, net of a thing, sounded like something I should actually buy to. But the system at which we are operating is not favorable. If you ask a student to do a project, what is the solution you're providing? And somebody will go to school, secondary school, university, a master's, PhD, and you still sit back and want the government to employ you. What happened to all the projects you're doing?
Okay, let's take one last message here before we wrap up this segment of the show. This is from Faith from Mount Zion. "The truth is simple. This community has been failed consistently and collectively by the people elected to represent them.
Okay.
No road for 30 years is not an oversight. It is institutional neglect. And the fact that influencers and content creators now have to raise awareness before government attention comes shows how disconnected leadership has become from ordinary people. Every official responsible for that area should feel pressured right now because the residents are tired of suffering quietly." I think this is a time where the residents of this community need to be very vocal about how they're feeling, because imagine staying for 30 years without basic amenities, and somehow it's just now that we're getting to know about it. And that's because somebody took the initiative to go into the community and find out these things for himself. So imagine if nobody went in there, they will be suffering for for years to come and nobody say
It is
anything.
now, it has now turned to a culture, the total way of the life of the people. So it has now become part and parcel of them. And funny how a lot of religious bodies are around that place. They used to preach and pray that look, I think it's high time young people will have to wake up. Use your data wisely. Go out there, do something, change the narratives. Let's get things, let's work it. It's possible. I usually believe that there is nothing, absolutely nothing that is not possible. Look
And
at Transformers.
like you said, right? Use your data wisely, because if the governments do something that you believe is not right, you have the right to call out the government on social media.
Trust me, they
You
are
have the
watching.
right to call out the government on social media. You have the right to demand accountability. For God's sake, you have the mind to you have the right rather to demand accountability from the government, because they owe you an explanation. They are representing you. You pay tax every other month.
That is
And
our
if-
You
money.
deserve accountability.
And if every young person in Nigeria can come together to actually help spread useful information and to also hold the government accountable, as we are all going out to vote, in the next upcoming elections, we hold the government accountable for the government we have put in place, because definitely I know that our votes will count.
Now, speaking of
When they put
votes,
in
okay.
place, when if every youth is patriotic enough to actually hold our leaders accountable, I'm very sure that we'll move forward as a government, even slowly, at least even if it's slowly, but we'll move forward as a government.
mean,
Instead of
progress is
spreading-
progress.
Yeah.
Instead of spreading misinformation or using your data to do what God knows what, use it for a better cause. For a better cause, for a better Nigeria, because people have actually given up on the fact that Nigeria can be a better place. We have the resources, we have the capability to be better. All the capabilities will surpass some nations that are up, but we just need the right set of individuals to carry this mantra forward.
And at the end of the day, speaking of elections, the last phase of the voter registration has commenced. Please, you don't have an excuse. You don't have an excuse, because there are centers around you, designated centers around you. Go there and ensure that you get your voter registration done. It ends in August, so you have from now till August. Ensure that you go out there and get your voter's card done. That is your voice. I don't think I will ever stop saying this or get tired of saying this. Your vote is your voice. Ensure that you go out there, get your your registration done. Do not have that complacent mentality that, oh, our votes
Our
don't
vote doesn't count.
Your vote
It counts. If
Your
it doesn't, they
if we
won't,
can come
over the
out-
weekend, they wouldn't count that in their counting.
If we can come out in our numbers to vote, our votes will surely count.
Yes.
So ensure that you go out. Don't spread that misinformation, because I think that's one thing that's making most people very complacent, because they're hearing other people say, oh, our votes don't count. Don't
It's
spread
a
that
lie. Our
misinformation.
votes count.
Your votes count. So
Yeah.
ensure that you go out there, get your voter registration done. Come 2027, go out there and ensure that you cast a vote for credibility. Cast a vote for leaders that will have the mind and the needs of the people at heart. That is what you're supposed to do. Vote for credible leaders. Vote for leaders that will have your best interest and at heart. Do not vote for leaders that will give you 5,000 naira and 2 cups of rice. It will finish. The rest that you're not eating one grain a day.
Some of
So
them
it will
even
finish.
lost. Some of them even lost the money before they even leave the venue. They say come to the house before they even leave the venue.
It's rather pathetic that you would want to sell your vote for something very ridiculous. For something very ridiculous. Your vote is your voice. Your vote is your power. Do not lose it. Do not lose your voice. Do not lose your power. Ensure that you go out there and get your voter registration done as soon as possible. Well, that's much you can take on the segment of the show. We're going back to the music. When we come back, we're going to wrap up the show with the quote of the day. I'll leave in the hands of Davido featuring Faye. This one says, Kante. Do not move away from your radio set. We'll be back before you know it. Welcome back from that short music break. That was Kante by Davido and Faith. It's still the morning bus show right here on Unico 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment 360. We love to call it a do infotainment. We just finished from a very heated and interesting conversation right now. We're wrapping up on the show. And like you already know, we like to give you the quote of the day, just a little something to ensure that you stay motivated all through the day. And today, Sharon has something very special for us. So Sharon, let's hear it.
Okay, so the quote of the day is: when you know better, you choose better. Knowledge is the real power behind every decision. When you know better, you choose better. Knowledge is the real power behind every decision. As much as possible, kill ignorance, please. We all have
Mm.
information at our fingertips, for Christ's sake. Some people have a lot of devices, but don't use them to their full potentials. Use You can go online. If you're not sure of an information, you're not sure of something, or maybe you're curious to know what exactly happened to this particular area or this particular thing, you want to be knowledgeable. Strive to be knowledgeable. Stop being ignorant, because ignorance, I feel like ignorance is another type of disease that needs to be eradicated immediately.
Mm.
It's something that's becoming a pandemic, because somebody
You
that
would
will
think
actively
that
speak.
because we have information or knowledge at our fingertips, people will be more knowledgeable. But sadly, that's not the reality.
Imagine somebody asking me, what is this? And I'm like, you have your phone.
Like, why are you asking me that?
You have your
You
phone.
have data on your phone.
You have your phone. And I'm like, why do you want
Look
to get
for
this
where and
information from
charge
me?
your phone. Charge your phone.
You have,
Except you stay
you
in a
have
if
phone.
you're in community.
No, no, don't, no, no. So please eradicate ignorance. When I see younger people being ignorant, it annoys me more, because I'm like, what are you using? Why are you proving the older generation right by saying it's that phone?
Mm.
It's that phone. Use the phone for something good. Use your devices properly. Your access to the internet. Because then we barely had you. If you want to have information, you want to get knowledge, you would go to a library and source in a very large book
Mm.
that people manage to write. So you have it at your fingertips. So please, when you know something better, you choose better. When you know something, you be more confident in your decisions, in everything you do, basically. So kill ignorance in every space you are in. If you don't know something, go and verify it before you actually open your mouth to say something to other people, to avoid misleading people and to avoid also sharing misinformation as much as possible. And we are here as a radio station to kill that ignorance, because we give you education, information, and entertainment 360. So as much as possible, kill ignorance in your space.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Sharon. And there you have it. We've come to the end of the Morning Bus Show today, right here on Unico 103.5 FM, the only station that offers you the best of education, information, and of course, entertainment 360. We do this with you every weekday, every weekdays rather, from 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on Unico 103.5 FM. You can follow us on all our social media handles. On Facebook, we are Unico Radio International. On Instagram, TikTok, and X, we are Unico Radio. You can also catch us on YouTube at Unico Rain. Till we come away again tomorrow, same time, same station. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure that your Monday is productive, smile all through the day, and be nice to everybody that you come in contact with. My name remains Igwe Van Henshaw, and I'm signing out. I will leave in the hands of Ashake. This one says, Sunshine. Do not move away from the radio set as we have more amazing programs coming your way shortly. Good morning.